Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Today, I feel very, very, very sad. With a heavy heart, I called my friend, Mr. Wild Zhang, attorney at law, to share the dark moment with me, talking about Kelly Thomas case. As we all know, the past Monday, verdict came out that none of the officers were guilty. So each and every single one of them walked out a free man. And we're still, the officer who is one of the criminals charged with manslaughter and second-degree murder and excessive force, Jay Cincinnati, was asking his job back. In other words, we the people, have to continue paying them to do what they want to do, what they are doing. So, today in the discussion, we try to find out what's wrong with the case, what's wrong with American justice, what's wrong with the value that we adore. So, I'd say to my friend, Attorney Zhang, welcome to my show.
Thank you again.
Like I said, it's a very sad moment, very hard to pull myself together to face the reality. The reality is that they walk out free man. What's your comment about it?
Well, legally speaking, I am shocked. Evidentially speaking, I am shocked. Societally speaking, I am shocked. However, judicially speaking, I am not surprised. Because judicial process is like a chemical process. Actually, it's more complicated than chemical process. It's a process that involves the prosecution, the defense, the judge, the witnesses, expert witnesses, and the jury. There's so many human factors involved.
I see.
And especially in this country, the criminal system, only the state can file charges, criminal charges. So if the criminal charges are not properly structured, prosecuted competently, and actually you will find you are hijacked by the criminal system. You are hijacked by the prosecution.
You're right.
There's nothing you can do, right?
So
because
that's the
only
final.
they are allowed to prosecute.
That's the final.
Exactly. And that because of the res judicata principle, once a defendant is announced not guilty, you cannot re-prosecute. However, there's another chance, because in this country you have two legal systems, the state and the federal. So that's why now FBI just announced that they're going to look over the evidence and see whether there's any civil rights violation. They can file a criminal prosecution based on federal statutes.
At the federal level.
Federal level. Well, you might remember in the Rodney King situation, remember? At that time, but for the angry remarks by President Bush at that time, there would not have been any federal prosecution either. Had that case gone to the state proceeding, it might be a different result too.
All right, good. All right, back to my audience, is I need to bring a little update about the case. To go back to the very root of the case though, it was July the 5th, on the July the 5th in the evening at about 7:30 sometime in Fullerton at the bus transit. Somebody called 911 reporting a car jacking or whatever, or somebody tried to steal somebody's car. So 2 police officers responded to that spot, found nobody doing the car stealing thing. They find Kelly Thomas. Kelly Thomas was a known homeless guy, lunatic by the way, for the 25 years then, hanging on the same spot. That's why he's called a icon kind of, like a landmark kind of person of that city. Namely, they know Kelly Thomas. Not only that, but they know Kelly Thomas was incapable of performing like a normal person. Now, beating started, and the beating lasted for 25, close to 30 minutes until Kelly Thomas passed away. And Kelly Thomas did pass away 5 days later. Well, of course, all the 5 days he was on life support. Literally, Kelly Thomas was executed on the spot in the hands of 6 policemen, Fullerton PD officers. So now we're talking about the case. 2.5 years later, there came the verdict saying that these officers were innocent, or they are not guilty. So there are pictures, as you can see from the last show, you can still see from today's show. By comparison, before and after, you tell me what happened, right? Now, with Wild Jiang, my good friend, attorney, we're trying to analyze into the case, see if there's anything that we do not even know. Okay, now.
Well, based on what I can learn just from published information, it appears that the prosecution did a so-called a lukewarm prosecution. As a matter of fact presentation, nothing was highlighted or emotional. They just said, look, this is the case, this is the case. But compared to the defense, it's a very aggressive approach, highlighted by different things. And they brought in key witnesses to undermine the prosecution cases. As far as the discovery concerned, there's also a so-called holes in the discovery process. The prosecution should have done a lot. Either subpoena documents or depose those witnesses in advance, or actually during the direct examination. Instead, they have to go back and do additional discovery, and even went up to the Court of Appeals, and then finally got the so-called okay that you can obtain the personnel file from those 2 suspects, and yet they were not allowed to present the written evidence to the jury. They can only instruct the jury to disregard what's already been told by the most damaging 2 deputies from the defense, saying that everything committed by the 2 suspects on the spot were in full compliance with training manual. So they try to legalize the crimes.
They are licensed
legalize the violence.
To do so. Yes.
You know, we are all human beings. When you look at the pictures, you look at the face, it's a piece of meat, completely destroyed, pulverized. If that's not a result of excessive force, what else can you call it?
What else can you call it? What happened?
Simple.
Right? What happened in time between?
All right?
Okay.
You are supposed to handcuff a suspect, let's say Kelly Thomas. You don't just hit the face. Just handcuff the hand.
Just handcuff him. That's it.
All right? If you really want to subdue him, you have 6 deputies right there.
Yeah.
And tell me why.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
They get on that, and one decided to stand up, and then just watch.
2 hold the arms, 2 hold the legs, and there are extra 2. They can handcuff him.
Yes.
You think so?
You know.
All right. Okay. Now,
there's no credibility.
let me ask a question from another perspective.
But I want to continue to advise the audience, because in Orange County, it's supposed to be extremely conservative, as I mentioned before. It's a blue-collar, Republican-based, extremely conservative. And they are more deputy-friendly as well. So it's very hard to convict a police officer. And just consider the DAs. DAs are really employees of the city. Police also employees of the city.
Yeah.
You are asking the right hand to prosecute the left hand. What kind of result can you get?
Yeah.
And the fact that it took more than a year to file charges against another deputy that was involved. Actually, Joseph Wolfe was one of the 2, the very first
the very
2
initial
approached.
2. Yes.
But he was not charged until a year later. And And then
he was the one using baton.
that's the one who
Yeah.
attacked. He was the baton attacked the legs. And now the DA said that he's not going to prosecute Joseph Wolfe anymore because there was no ground to prosecute. Look at this. That's why I says, very sadly, the whole process is hand-tied and hijacked by the DA's office.
All right. Okay.
And when you look at in the beginning press conference, everything they try to say is really a result of altercation. And you look at the tapes, there's nothing you can call the altercation. It was a purely aggressive attack.
All right.
From the two deputies. Right?
All right. Thank you for this analysis. Back to my audiences. Today, we're talking about the verdict of the Kelly Thomas case, who was, in which a guy was executed on the spot July the 5th, 2011. Now, joining me, my good friend, Wild Jiang, attorney at law. When we come back from this short moment, we will find out, is there anything or could there anything be wrong that we do not even know about, or even it's hard to imagine that could be a thing. So stay with us. We'll be right back.